On this episode of the Kickstart My Franchise podcast, we chat with Forbes 30 Under 30 member Brianna Keefe to learn all about her rapidly growing gourmet toast and juice bar, Toastique. Let's go. Welcome to the Kickstart My Franchise podcast. I'm your host, Tim Michaels. On today's episode, we have a really amazing guest. She is a former D1 athlete, was recently named to the Forbes 30 Under 30 list, and is the founder of the rapidly growing gourmet toast and juice bar, Toastique. We're very excited today to be joined by Brianna Keefe.
So much for having me. I'm excited to be here.
So give it to us. What exactly is Toastique?
Yeah, so Toastique is a gourmet toast and juice bar out of Washington, D.C. We serve gourmet toast, which is our specialty. It's toast how no one's really seen it done before. We make all of our toppings in-house, so everything down from our avocado smacks to our pesto, our peanut butter, pickled onions, everything's made in-house, so you can really taste the freshness of it. And then we also do cold pressed juice, acai bowls, smoothies, and coffee as well. So we say we're a gourmet toast and juice bar, but we're also a little bit more than that too.
Sounds like it. And when did you guys start franchising?
So we opened our first location in July of 2018 and started thinking about franchising just from the first store, all the positive feedback we've been getting and people being like, oh, you need to come here. I want to open one. So really started to think how we wanted to grow. And so we decided franchising was the right route coming. You know, in my eyes, there's so much detail that goes into the brand. So having someone that's passionate about the brand like myself and has their own time, energy, and money invested in it, they should care as much as me in their community. So it was around like the end of 2019 that we decided we wanted to grow through franchising. And of course, the pandemic happened in 2020, and that's really when we knew that we were onto something, because we realized how scalable it was. When our sales were down 70% in the beginning, we were still able to cut labor in the turn would be just as profitable in 2020 as we were the year before, just because we were able to scale our labor down without sacrificing the quality or service. So we really kept pushing through with all of our documents and marketing material in 2020. And then our first franchise opened the summer of 2021.
Yeah, I mean, that's incredible success during COVID. I feel like most restaurants just took a complete nosedive. So that's amazing. In terms of franchising, how many locations do you guys have currently? How fast are you growing?
Yes, corporate stores. We do still plan on opening a corporate store once a year on our side. And then we have a total of 20 stores. We just opened our 20th store in California, which is our first location there. So we're officially coast to coast, which is super exciting. And we have 3 more to open by the end of the year. And in 2024, we should be around 40 units. So we'll double in size in the next year.
Fantastic. In terms of the competitive landscape, can you talk to us a little bit about what that looks like? What differentiates your brand?
Yeah, absolutely. I think this is one of my favorite questions. It's also a question I get asked a lot. Because truly I believe what we're doing at Toastique is we don't have any direct competitors. There, of course, is so many juice bars. I think the quality of our juice bar products, like our juice and bowls and smoothies, are at a higher quality as well. But then by adding the toast aspect of it, you're creating a whole different experience, and it turns into a micro cafe where people can brunch, they can have office meetings, and it just appeals to a broader mass. And we also do espresso as well. So we're kind of combining a juice bar with a coffee shop with a cafe. And I really don't think there's any quite direct competitors in that sense. And also the way that we have the design and the ambience of our stores as well. We definitely spend a little more on our finishes. We always have live plants. It's a very warm and inviting atmosphere to be in where people actually do want to hang out. And, if they have a business meeting, that they know it would be an impressive place to still get something quick, fresh, and casual. And I think that's really also what differentiates us between competitors too, is still being quick and fast, but also having high quality food and being in a very welcoming environment, kind of all together really makes us stand out.
And how large is like the square footage of a typical location? Is it, the size of like a Subway, or how large are we talking typically?
Our sweet spot is between 1,200 and 1,500 square feet. Our smallest store, which is our first store, is 1,050 square feet, which we make it work, but we're busting at the seams there. And we do have a larger store. Our largest store is 2,200 square feet. So, it definitely can range, but our sweet spot is between 12 and 1,500 square feet.
And I guess from your perspective, as far as like who you're looking for or who you think is an ideal franchisee, can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, so I mean, especially as a young brand and how much detail goes into the brand, from construction to recipes to presentation to the service we provide. We're really looking for owner operators, someone that's part of their community, wants to be the face of the store in their community, making those connections, going out and just getting the brand awareness out to their neighborhood and community is super important. And of course, I know firsthand how much time and attention goes into it to make it a success. So that's really what we're looking for, making sure that every opening is truly as perfect as it possibly can be, especially in new markets. There, someone going to a Toastique in California or DC or Florida, Texas, wherever, we want it to be the same experience. And I believe that all stems from leadership and having someone that cares and is passionate about it. That's really what we're looking for right now. The only way we're kind of allowing a semi-absentee owner, which we allowed 3 so far, is someone that has a lot of restaurant experience, has experience building a team, managing a team, really can pull from resources as well, to have the right people in place. I think the hardest part, but the most important part, is the team, the people, the team that is there every day interacting with the customers, that are getting excited to come to work, are passionate about what they're doing. That reflects directly with the customer's experience.
And what is the typical, investment range here? Like how much cash do I need in order to, have this be a feasible option for me?
Yeah, so right now we're requiring $500,000 in net worth and $200,000 liquid cash. It very much depends on the location you go in of how much that startup cost is going to be, because it can range from 350,000 to upwards of 500, 600,000 for the build out. And that's really just depending on what it was before. If it was something before, a second gen spot, was it a coffee place, juice bar where we don't have to do as much renovations, or if it's a cold dark shell and you have to put everything in there, then it's going to cost a little bit more.
Makes a lot of sense. And in terms of, what an average day looks like, I assume there is no such thing, but, for an owner operator, like what are at a high level, what are some of the main tasks that, you typically would focus on?
Yeah, a little bit of everything. That's one thing, is you need to be able, to just roll with it. There's always something that's different that you don't plan for every day. But really in the beginning, the first 6 to 8 months, being in the store every day, building the team, creating that culture that we have in DC, which, it's so important to get it right the first time and treat people well. And you're laying the foundation for all your future store success and that current store. And so really just being there and being part of the team, training, retraining if you need to, like I said earlier, like being the face of the store. And of course on the back end, doing all the managerial stuff, but also, the payroll and a little bit of HR and a little bit of everything on the back end. And so really balancing that. And the key is finding those people that you can trust so that you're not consumed 16, 18 hours a day, but you can pop in, make sure everyone is like doing great, on track, and then still have time to do all the back end stuff as well.
And what are the typical hours that your locations are open?
Our typical hours are either 7 to 5 or 7 to 7. That's the majority of our hours of operation. We do have stores that are staying open a little bit later. Really just depending on where the location is, what type of surrounding buildings or whatever, event centers or whatever may be there. But our standard is 7 to 5, and then we kind of adjust on the location where they're at to make
Okay.
adjustments.
So sounds fairly family friendly,
Yes.
which is good. So I guess, as far as the top reasons why someone should, buy or own a Toastique franchise, what would you say?
But I think the one is the passion and support that we have on our corporate side. Everyone lives and breathes this brand, and we want everyone to be just as successful as us. So the detail that we put in every step of the way, and having just organization of who's going to help you at what step of the process up until grand opening, after grand opening, moving to weekly calls of who you're going to be in contact. If you have an emergency and need to call someone, like we'll be there. We'll help come train, retrain if all your staff turns over and you're panicked or whatever. I think the passion and the support that we provide for the franchisees is unlike most, I would probably say. And because we're really focusing on quality over quantity and making sure that everyone gets our full support at any time of the process and after opening and year after opening and whenever. That's what I think we do very well. And also, I know Toastique is a very sustainable brand with the right partners in place, and just knowing that we have our staples for sure, but we're always innovating to see what's new, what can we add, what can we do for specials, or we have Toast of the Month that's new every month, and even trying out new things. Like our most recent corporate store, we actually added a liquor license in DC to try fresh pressed cocktails. So we do all our mimosas with fresh juice, and we make a house-made Bloody Mary mix. And our Tampa location opening this month is piloting vegan soft serve ice cream, and they're one of the stores staying open later because it's a very lively night crowd. So still being able to offer something on brand, but a little bit different, and hopefully it goes very well and we can apply it to new stores that are interested in that. So we're a very young brand, and we know it can go very far. So we're very excited to work with the right partners to help keep pushing us.
Yeah, I'll have to check that out. I actually just switched to a vegan lifestyle here myself, so
Okay.
excited to hear that.
Yes.
The other thing I would say is, like, in terms of the passion, like if you look at, Toastique's social media channels, I think that really just comes through in the quality of product and how everything's put together. Like the branding is just terrific. Last question here. In terms of your item 19, everyone's always asking, how much can I earn? Is there any sort of sneak peek or high level teaser you can share?
Yeah. I mean, all stores we think have full potential to really is pushing as far as you want. All of our corporate stores on item 19 in our next FDD will be over $1 million in sales. 4 stores that opened this past in Q1 should also do over $1 million in their first year, which is very exciting. That's really just daily operations. And, we have some stores really pushing on catering as well. So not only are you getting those daily operations sales, but going out and kind of going back to what I was saying, being part of the community, go introducing the brand to businesses, to fitness studios, wherever. There's just so much potential. It's just having, why you have to be passionate about it too. You have to be excited about the product and push it in your community, let people know we're there. And it's really limitless of how far you can push Toastique.
This has all been super insightful. It's a very exciting brand, a lot of growth potential. I really appreciate you coming on today.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me.